From betraying his closest friends to repeatedly scamming his loyal viewers, Logan Paul's YouTube career is nothing short of a relentless spectacle of controversy. Wherever he steps, chaos ensues, lawsuits pile up, scandals explode, and countless victims are left in his ruthless pursuit of fame. Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we'll be looking into the many victims of one of YouTube's most hated creators, Logan Paul, starting with what should have been Logan's closest companions, but ended up being nothing more than tools for personal profit. Throughout his time on YouTube, Logan has had a rather tenuous relationship with animals. On one hand, he's featured several pets in vlogs and seems to genuinely care about them.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh,
hi girl.
Oh my gosh, this
Hi.
is my newest.
On the other hand, Logan has treated these animals as nothing but props in his videos, frequently abandoning, neglecting, or mistreating them when they've outlived their usefulness to him. One such instance of Logan not caring for his pets was the passing of his Pomeranian dog, after he and his roommates left the animal outside in a coyote-infested neighborhood.
I'm on the security cam footage and I see one of the biggest coyotes I've ever seen in my life. And we're all hoping so badly that we go outside the gate and we just see Kong sitting atop a dead coyote. Then I get the call from Andre and Mike. They're like, yo, you gotta come home. We have really bad news.
Remember, Logan was aware of the presence of predatory animals in his area, but failed to take the necessary steps to protect his pets from harm. He even admitted to allowing Kong to run out alone on multiple occasions.
Kong's ran away before, guys. If you're like OG Logang, you know Kong has ran out the gate like 3 times before we got a fence to stop him.
Another example of Logan's negligence with animals was with his pet parrot and mascot, Maverick. In July of 2019, the bird sadly suffered an accidental death after carelessly leaving him alone with his much larger dog, Ginger.
Ginger, I don't even, that's kind of graphic for right now.
What?
Ginger,
What's graphic?
I have a bucket of his feathers here.
To make matters even worse, Logan immediately defaulted to plugging the deceased parrot's Instagram and merch only moments after he heard the news.
The pet that I've had for the longest time in my life, 7 years, at Maverick Parrot on Instagram, 1.3 million followers, 2.3 on the brand account. Dead? The bird I've had since 18, since I was a senior in high school before I started internet? You're saying that bird is gone and killed by my other pet, Ginger.
You might be wondering what Logan did with Ginger following the incident. Well, he understandably sent the dog to a retraining center, but upon returning, he failed to process the trainer's advice and instead labeled Ginger as a quote, bad dog.
Is she getting any better, or is she just still a bad dog?
She's not gonna be good in the structure that you have her at home. That's all. She's not a bad dog.
You're gonna be a good dog soon.
Till then, I will see you later, okay?
While you could argue these incidents were a result of incompetence on Logan's part, it's hard not to see a pattern when you look at how he abandoned his pet pig, Pearl, after she got too big for him to handle. On the 9th of January 2023, an animal sanctuary called the Gentle Barn would publish a TikTok video detailing the rescue of a pig they suspected was previously owned by an influencer. In the captions they wrote, Pearl was found alone in a field next to another pig who had passed away. She came to us with tattered ears and a potentially life-threatening infection in her uterus that has since been healed. From what we've been told, it's believed she was originally purchased from a breeder by an influencer. People often buy mini pigs or teacup pigs for clout online. When they inevitably grow very large and have many unexpected needs, they're sadly discarded. The news of Pearl's rescue would make the rounds on social media, and people quickly realized that she was the teacup pig previously featured in Logan's social media posts. When confronted about this, Logan claimed that he rehomed Pearl to a ranch in Santa Clarita before moving to Puerto Rico, and that she was later relocated without his knowledge. Whether or not Logan was fully responsible with what happened to Pearl is unclear, but what we do know is that he didn't take into account just how much care the animal would need before abandoning her. Sadly, these pets wouldn't be the only ones to experience pain for being part of Logan's personal life, as his own brother suffered a similar fate. As siblings, Jake and Logan have naturally aggravated each other on different occasions. However, the pair would take their feud to a new level in May of 2017. It all started after Jake discovered his now ex-girlfriend, Alyssa Violet, had slept with Logan during a rough patch in their relationship. In light of this, Jake kicked Alyssa out of Team 10 and made a diss track titled "It's Everyday Bro." Not long after, Logan would react to the song and announce he'd made his own diss track.
I'm concocting lyrics in my head. Jake is so roastable. And one of the lyrics in Jake's song, he owns it. He's like, yo, I'm gonna roast myself. And I thought for sure he'd list like a couple things. But he said that he has less Instagram followers than me. Of course I have to rap about it. But like, bro, there's so many things, Jake. I thought we were brothers, bro. Like.
However, Jake would double down with another diss track, Low Gang Sucks, on the same day, which only fueled the feud between them. By the 4th of June 2017, Logan would respond with the first song of his own, a much harsher diss track titled The Fall of Jake Paul.
It should be every other day, just some strong advice. I made you famous once, it's about to happen twice. Yeah, you on Disney, but who helped you read all your lines? Me? Don't forget, boy, you are my shadow.
While there weren't any major blows being thrown yet, all that would change on the 10th of July 2017, when Logan released the second half of the diss track, which saw him and his brother's ex seemingly kissing at the end of the song. Some would say Logan went too far with the second half of the song by bringing his brother's ex into the situation, while others would argue that Jake brought it on himself with the diss track he released first. Nevertheless, the Paul brothers would eventually patch things up by releasing the song I Love You Bro.
So sorry for things that I said. I just want to be friends, so let's make amends and be close till the end.
In the eyes of their fans, the entire situation was seen as a publicity stunt, but that doesn't seem to be the case considering the lingering bad blood in their boxing careers.
I'm gonna finish him off first. I gotta handle that business first.
We'll see, bro, because you definitely sniped the Nate Diaz fight from me, and I've been so lenient in giving you your opponents.
You haven't fought anyone. You don't fight. You don't fight real fights. It's just not your option to give me my opponents. You're not even a fighter. Like, you do exhibitions and lost like 4 years ago.
I think I'm better than you, and I think Nate chose you for a reason, and I think everyone knows that.
Speaking of Logan boxing, he would have a short-lived rivalry with Dillon Danis that not just destroyed his career, but his reputation as well. For a bit of context, Dillon Danis is known for 3 things. 1. Competing at a high level in combat sports. 2. Being friends with the legendary fighter Conor McGregor. And 3. Trash-talking his opponents. So in 2023, when Dillon was offered the chance to fight Logan Paul in the second main event of the X Series 10, you know he jumped at the opportunity. However, Dillon was only given the opportunity to fight and didn't receive any special promotion from the fight organizers. Regardless, Dillon thought up his own way to promote the biggest fight of his career, trash-talking both his opponent and his fiancée Nina Agdal.
Hey, you know I got props. I see Dillon got props. Hey, bro, that's creative. You come up with that yourself?
Right? Huh?
Was that the surprise that you told me about?
No, I got more, don't worry.
Oh, that's good. I choked out by a bouncer in a club.
Your girl got by 75 guys before you married her. Shut the up.
At the time, Logan had just gotten engaged, and Dillon knew the fastest way to draw attention to their fight wasn't by mocking his opponent's controversial past, but by instead making fun of his fiance's active modeling career and several alleged famous ex-boyfriends, sugar daddies, or hookups. In the weeks leading up to the fight, Dillon would post hundreds of tweets referencing Nina's time with her exes, like Leonardo DiCaprio and other provocative things she said on camera.
My gag reflex is pretty strong.
Okay.
It'll take a lot.
Okay. You went further.
As expected, Dillon's strategy worked. Not only was he receiving massive engagement on Twitter, but viewers were also on his side, as they took to Logan's comment section to clown on him even further. Don't let our wife down, Logan. Logan's fiancé is the ultimate celebrity leftover. Damn, Dillon made him train again. The fact Danis had gained hundreds of thousands of Twitter followers and numerous podcast appearances leading up to the fight only encouraged him to continue. However, Logan wouldn't take these insults lying down, as he and Nina filed a lawsuit against Dillon for, quote, 2 counts of disclosure of intimate images and 1 count of invasion of privacy in relation to posts made on his social media accounts. This wasn't the only major blow dealt to Dillon's career, as the day their fight came, Logan completely decimated him. For all of his trash talk, Dylan barely put up a fight when the time came, only landing 9 punches throughout the entire match. To make matters even worse, this was Dylan's first professional fight in years, and would apparently be his last, as he retired from fighting not long after. For the majority of their time together, Logan was the victim of frequent harassment, but once the gloves were on, Dylan was humiliated and made the real victim. Unfortunately, Logan seems to have a pattern of humiliating people on camera, as seen with his former co-host George Jenko, who was made a verbal punching bag numerous times on the Impulsive podcast. While George Jenko's position in the Impulsive podcast as the third host added a fresh and nuanced perspective to the show, it hadn't been smooth sailing. Ever since his introduction to the show in episode 219, George has struggled to prove himself as a worthy host, and whenever he failed to do so, he'd be made the butt of every joke.
I read the Bible a lot when they talk about David and Goliath. I've never seen a giant, and so like I'm literally just, I'm a little taken.
You've been sitting over here for 30 minutes and that's all you can freaking say? Fucking kidding me.
No, he's not gonna say
That's the
shit.
question. Jeez.
I'm just sitting,
Are you drunk?
Not yet. Not yet. We're gonna get Edgy George later tonight.
Things would only get worse with each subsequent episode, until they reached a boiling point on episode 351, which featured the infamous comedian Bobby Lee.
There are certain... He is clocked out. I know.
George has been under a tremendous amount of abuse. No, stop, George. I want you over here with me. George, I want you over here with me. Chase him down. Go. You find him.
Looking at that clip alone, you'd assume George was overreacting and stormed off over a harmless joke. However, that wasn't the case. Let's take it back to 2019. It was a regular day. 2 family men, Jermaine and Ross, were driving down a road when suddenly a truck driver rear-ended the car behind them, which then slammed into theirs. The damages went beyond a simple car repair, as both Jermaine and Ross suffered injuries which impacted their daily lives moving forwards. Generally, the process to seek compensation for the injuries would be extremely overwhelming, with time-consuming processes and large upfront costs. However, they decided to go with Morgan & Morgan, who not only sponsored this video, but won them both an $8 million joint verdict, changing their lives forever. When you're seriously hurt, your injury could be worth millions. Morgan & Morgan don't settle for lowball offers, and their verdicts speak for themselves, with a recent $12 million in Florida, which was 34 times the highest insurance offer, as well as $26 million in Philadelphia, which was 40 times the highest insurance offer. Working with Morgan & Morgan is a no-brainer. You can do it all from the comfort of your own home, and the fee is absolutely free unless you win. It's as simple as clicking the link in the description and filling out these 7 info boxes. So if you've ever got seriously injured, you're only a few clicks away from potentially changing your life. You can start your claim now with Morgan & Morgan by using the link in the description or scanning the QR code on screen. With that being said, let's get back into the video. Throughout the podcast, George was subjected to countless inappropriate jokes from Bobby and barely had the opportunity to participate in the conversation.
This put me on a very strong map, and it made a lot of my avenues blow up. So I'm very blessed, but I didn't know I was gonna be here. So
it's like that's... You done? It was just a long monologue.
He was just waiting.
Let me just say something. I loved what you were saying. It was just very long.
Guests wouldn't be the only ones to make fun of George, as Logan would join in to humiliate someone he called his best friend in the worst way possible.
Not uncomfortable. Whoa, that's fucked up. Put your hand back on his leg, Bobby.
Yeah. Does that make you feel uncomfortable?
No.
Oh, it's so close.
Wait.
While Logan and George would later apologize to one another and to mend their relationship, things wouldn't be the same. In the following months, George would appear less and less on the Impulsive podcast until he stopped showing up altogether. The next time viewers heard anything about George on the Impulsive podcast was when Logan made a disparaging comment about his friend's new ventures.
I love this outlet, and it exists because people watch, and without people watching, I just have a show like
In response, George would make a tweet describing his time at the Impulsive podcast as, quote, toxic. To the Impulsive fans, I'm so sorry I can't speak about things. Not my choice. I do love you guys, and for those of you sending me the clip of them talking shit, it's all love. I've already moved on from that toxic environment. A few weeks later, George revealed more about what was really going on behind the scenes with Logan and his legal team.
Okay, but what is the biggest, on a serious note, what is the biggest misconception of you and what happened there that that bothered you, and it's not true, and maybe they got that misconception because of the way you were editorialized? Or
I'm really not. They very much made it clear that I'm not allowed to speak up about things. So I can't even
legally.
Yeah.
Was this I didn't know that you guys were in a legal.
Well, he likes to tend to argue with me, and so he argues with me on the podcast and about things, and I think I said, okay, then how about we discuss this, what you've guys done, let's talk about this. And he goes, yeah, do it. And then I go, okay. And so I tweeted out, I wasn't gonna talk out of respect for the man. So, and then his attorneys hit me up and said, hey, let me remind you about the stuff you've signed. And I said, okay.
So it was bad enough that Logan and his editorial system misrepresented George, but the fact that we're trying to keep him from sharing his side of the story was just horrible. Fortunately for George, he'd get to speak his mind during a podcast with one of his former co-hosts, Mike.
But by the way, and I'll just say this, we'll just empty it out. I never had a problem with Bobby Lee.
No, he knows
I had a problem with the way that Logan and you were kind of gassing him to keep doing. He started the episode putting his balls in my face. I let that one go. Then every 2 seconds he kept grabbing my dick.
I don't think...
How would you feel if a man that has his back completely towards you, that only turns around to grab your dick,
right,
talk shit to your face, and you can't smack or beat the living brakes off of this guy? Because Logan makes me apologize to this man, or I don't have a job on Impulsive anymore. How fucking crazy is that?
Not only did Logan allow that to happen, but he later made it clear that George wasn't even supposed to be talking to the guest.
But after the episode, do you remember when you called me? And I said, Mike, this is all that happens, and you said, verbatim, you said, it's our fault for not telling you this, but me and Logan are really the ones who should be talking to the guest. You are really there for a boys only episode. So while I get sexually harassed, my other co-host is trying to fire me, and you're trying to leverage me to be quiet during other guests. And then on my birthday, you guys shot 3 episodes, so I couldn't show up.
I just think...
On my 30th birthday, you shot 3 episodes. Bro.
I think
that's crazy. It was on the calendar for months.
I think by the time we got there was so much like confusion and disarray in the podcast that there was no coming back.
To make matters even worse, Logan was actively trying to extend his control over George's business and dictate which sponsors he could and couldn't have.
Can I speak for a second, please?
Well, yeah, I mean...
So when I get that call and I tell him, I go, Logan, I get it, bro. And I fully told him, I go, listen, man, like, I will take half the deal that Celsius gives me. Half. If you want to put it on the table for my show, a quarter, work with me. He says, I won't pay you a dime. You're here because of me. And then I said, well, what do you want me to do for my bills, bro? I got no money. And he says, go have your rich dad pay for it.
Listen,
that's fighting words, bro. Look at me. That's fighting words, bro. You don't bring up somebody's father.
Even after stifling George's growth on Impulsive, Logan still wanted to have a say over his business despite not being willing to help him in any way. When confronted with this information, Logan had this to say.
I got my show going, and then not only was I controlled and pushed around on Impulsive, but then Logan's making calls and directing my show. He told me that I couldn't take Celsius.
So this is the big one. Making calls, trying to make it seem like I wanted to control his show is absolutely ridiculous. As you can see right here, I was like, hey, we got to get you Prime because I saw him drinking our competitor, and he told me to call him. He was filming my reaction to tell me he took a deal with a competitor. I told him, please don't film. Like, I'd like to talk about this. I hope you're joking, by the way. The truth is, I thought it was a bad look that my best friend and co-host took a brand deal with our competitor without consulting me, asking me, giving us even a chance to match it before he signed the deal, because the audience that he's building, at least at the time, on his own podcast was being funneled directly from the podcast that I was building with him. I said, hey, dude, I understand you need to make money. The entire text is right here that I sent him after our conversation, because I did understand his position if he needed to make money, but I thought it was also a little odd because he did make $317,000 in 15 months. Regardless, I did tell him I can't have him on Impulsive if he's going to take the deal with the competitor, but if after he makes the money he wants to come back to the podcast, he's more than welcome.
In his response, Logan avoided addressing the majority of George's points and seemed to prioritize his image in business over his friend's well-being. A few hours later, George made a short video challenging Logan to give the full story of what happened between them.
Dang, first of all, happy Mother's Day before I get into this drama, because I gotta go take my mom out. I'm having a splendid day today. Second, yo, your TikTok is cute, bro. It's cute. I get it. You're doing your best to show face. Do whatever you need, bro. Like, talk to your team, do whatever you need. But when you want to be a man, come talk to me like a man. Let's sit down like men and talk about it. Mike did it. Mike's a real man. He had the chance to come, sit, talk, show all of his points of views, brother. You could bring camera, you could bring your attorney, bro. Come sit on the couch and talk to me like a man.
Let's talk, bro. Because obviously you want to talk. Let's talk. Come talk to me, bro.
Logan has no problem betraying his friends, pets, and family members for selfish gain. However, the people who suffered the most to line Logan's pockets were the ones that gave him his platform in the first place, his fans. On the 18th of August 2021, Logan announced a new crypto project that he spent the last 6 months working on, called CryptoZoo.
I think there needs to be a fresh take, and this project that I have is that fresh take. September 1st, CryptoZoo.co. I am so excited about this project. It's so fun, provides a yield with a token, can earn you money. I think my game is gonna make some waves. Stay on the lookout for CryptoZoo.
The play-to-earn model wasn't uncommon in the NFT space and was the hallmark of many scam projects. The way CryptoZoo worked was that players used real-world money to buy zoo tokens, which they could then spend to buy NFT eggs. Once hatched, players could crossbreed these animals to make unique hybrids, which could earn them more zoo tokens. These details should have raised immediate red flags. However, Logan's fans looked past that and trusted his bold words, despite already allegedly scamming them just months prior.
What up, Dink Doink Telegram? It's me, Logan Paul. This is a shit coin I believe in. It's my favorite one, to be honest. Dink Doink is so much more than a meme coin. It's a multimedia coin. And as a holder in Dink Doink, I believe in this shit. I think it's gonna go crazy. Some of my friends, celebrities as well, gonna get involved in episodes doing voiceovers from cartoon stuff. It's fucking Dink Doink, bro.
By the 1st of September 2021, Logan launched the first phase of CryptoZoo, which allowed fans to buy zoo tokens. Within the first 24 hours, Logan's fans spent over $2 million, and the game was yet to launch. People were working off nothing but trust in Logan's promises, and unfortunately, they'd soon be disappointed. In the coming months, users noticed that they could neither hatch the eggs nor yield anything from them. The eggs were effectively worthless. As such, the value of the zoo token plummeted in price, and Logan's fans were left holding the bag. Over the next year, Logan would say next to nothing about the project, and even start promoting other crypto. The only news Logan gave to fans was that the source code for the project was allegedly stolen by one of the lead developers.
There's a lot of shady characters in the crypto space. I'm learning all of it. We had an issue with CryptoZoo where our lead developer took the code that he made, fled to Switzerland, and like held it hostage for $1 million.
As you'd expect, Logan wasn't willing to take accountability for his actions, but that was about to change. On the 17th of December 2022, CoffeeZilla released part 1 of 3 in a documentary series exposing what was really happening with CryptoZoo.
Logan, you stole 40 million in tokens from me. You are a scam artist. You are a liar, and you betrayed your own community. You aren't that guy. Logan replies, "Oh, trust me, bro. I am that guy."
After conducting a thorough investigation and interviewing countless people involved in the project, CoffeeZilla discovered that the main factor behind CryptoZoo's failure was Logan refusing to pay developers and hiring numerous shady individuals to handle development. The news of Logan's actions spread like wildfire, and in a bid to save face, he responded by attacking CoffeeZilla.
I watched your 3-part series called Investigating Logan Paul's Biggest Scam, and like many on this platform, you have successfully used my name for views and money. While your work used to be impartial, your addiction to clicks has clouded your judgment, and you've made very real errors with very real repercussions.
Naturally, this move backfired massively, forcing Logan to not only delete his response, but make an apology as well.
CoffeeZilla is not a criminal. I called him, I apologized. My initial response to his series was that of fire, and ego, pride. I'm a fighter at heart. I was defensive because I know I never scammed anyone.
To make things right, Logan promised to refund the CryptoZoo holders and finish the CryptoZoo game.
We want to offer a rewards program for players who are disappointed in the status of the game. And step 3, obviously finish and deliver the game as outlined in the white paper. There's a full internal investigation going on along with an audit, and we are going to pursue full legal action for whomever needs to be held accountable. If any money is recovered in the process, it'll go right to the community.
However, this would prove to be yet another lie. Friendly reminder that Logan still hasn't paid back anyone and blocks anyone on Twitter who brings it up. The fans that bought into Logan's scheme allegedly lost tens of millions of dollars and is currently battling a class action lawsuit for defrauding investors. Ironically, he'd recently offered a partial refund program, but with the stipulation that you'd waive your right to sue him for previous damages. If it's not clear by now, Logan Paul only cares about one thing: himself. It seems he'd throw his own family or close friends under the bus if it meant he could garner garner more views or even earn a little bit more money. He'd discard pets once they were no longer useful and defraud his own fans to boost his net worth. In the past, people assumed Logan was on the road to redemption, but considering his recent actions, he's nowhere near the start of that journey. However, Logan still has a platform, unlike Def Noodles, who Penguin Zero completely destroyed. Click the video on screen to find out how.